Welcome to this video taking you through the process for registering an apprenticeship service account. Once you have registered, you will be able to manage your apprenticeship funds and pay your chosen training provider. You will also be able to send a transfer of apprenticeship funds if your organisation pays the apprenticeship levy or receive a transfer from a levy-paying employer. To begin the process, go to the Manage Apprenticeships part of the service. You can find a link on our guidance page on gov.uk. Just search for Register and use the apprenticeship service, or follow the links included in the video description. It's important you read the guidance before you start the registration process. Every time you log into your account, you will be presented with the same starting screens. As this will be the first time you have created an account, you will need some key information to hand. You will need at least one PAYE scheme and the organisation's Government Gateway ID and password for that scheme. For more detail on the Gateway ID and the information you need to register, view our other video titled What You Need to Set Up an Apprenticeship Service Account. Firstly, you need to register as a user. Don't worry, you can add more users and change the levels of access to your account once you have set it up. Enter your name, email address, and create a password. A verification code will then be sent to you by email. Enter the code to confirm your identity and continue. Next, you will be asked to register your organisation. The details you enter must match the information on any contract you have with your training provider. Any of your connected organisations that enter into a contract for apprenticeship training needs to be added to your account. You can add connected organisations to the apprenticeship account once you have set it up. Enter your company's house number, charity number, or do a search by inserting your organisation's legal name. If your organisation is displayed on the screen, click on your name, then confirm your details. If you can't see your organisation's name, you can enter the details manually by selecting this option, which you can find at the end of the search results. Enter your organisation's name and postcode, then select your address. If your address is not displayed, you can enter it by filling in the relevant fields. Check the details are correct before you continue. You will then need to add a PAYE scheme. Using your organisation's Government Gateway details, you will be asked to grant authority for your tax details to be used. By doing this, you allow HMRC to send to the Education and Skills Funding Agency, ESFA, details of the amount of levy you have paid to that particular scheme. This will enable us to display the correct apprenticeship funds in your account. After you have entered your credentials, the system will ask you to confirm the PAYE scheme details to complete the setup. Please note, individual or agent login details do not work. Only the organisation's Gateway ID grants the level of access needed to display your information. You can add more PAYE schemes once you have set up your account. You will need an organisation's Gateway details for each individual scheme you want to add. You will now be prompted to add additional users, connected organisations and PAYE schemes. You have the option to close the prompt and to add additional users manually later. We would advise you always to have a minimum of 2 account owners. This is for security purposes and in case the person who set up the account is unavailable. Finally, you will also be asked if you want to sign the Employer Apprenticeship Agreement with the ESFA. If you are not authorised to sign legal agreements on behalf of your organisation, this can be actioned by an appropriate user at a later date. However, you must ensure the agreement is signed before any payments to training providers can take place. Your account is now set up and ready to use. You can start to add additional details, including adding your apprentices and setting up payments with your chosen training providers. As I mentioned at the start of the video, please also read our guidance called Register and Use the Apprenticeship Service on gov.uk. It provides simple instructions and additional supporting information on how to register and use your account. If you experience any issues when registering or you have any questions, contact the National Apprenticeship Service for advice on 08000 150 600. To keep up to date with the latest news about the Apprenticeship Service, read our blog and follow us on Twitter. Also, check out our Education and Skills Funding Agency YouTube page for additional support videos. Many thanks for listening.